All righty, what is going on? Let's make sure my audio is good. Yeah, my audio is good. What's going on, everyone? It's David Farmer, Leo King. I'm doing this all over again because there was a freaking malfunction. Hence, I'm not at my studio. I'm at my house, and I'm really at my house. I'm not just like, you know, like I'm really here. See? Welcome to my house. And yes, I am the kind of person that puts out quality stuff. If there is a weird audio thing, and it's not going to go out. I'm not the kind of person that edits videos, right? I do lives. I don't edit any videos. I'm not an editor. I mean, I am, and I do editing, but I don't put lives out that have a problem. I will just start it all over again. If there's a fucking problem, that's how it works. So I'm promoting a couple things, of course, Hypergate AI, and showing you the back end and showing you the new updates and how badass it is and why with the Astrology AI that actually works. Of course, I'll be out in Texas this week for the Bridge Expo. Down below here is the Bridge Expo live stream. If you can't make it to Texas, if you want tickets, go to teamlightstore.com. But if you want to not be there, which I wouldn't recommend because there's so many awesome people at this event. But if you can't make it and you want to be part of the live stream and get both days plus the Galactic Ball that we're doing, that I'm DJing after, or well, Saturday night, late night from 9 p.m. to midnight, you get access to all that for $99, 95 cents. So this is definitely a collab between Team Light and High Vibe TV. High Vibe TV will be producing, co-producing, but hosting the live stream. So don't miss out. You can definitely get that. And then, of course, this week on Tuesday, 5 p.m. every Tuesday for the next 8 weeks is my Hypergate Academy, Learn AI the Spiritual Way. Because, AI is triggering in the spiritual community. It's triggering for a lot of people. And the number one school now and the number one thing people want me to do is teach them spiritual AI and how to build AI or how to use it in your life and actually do badass shit with it. So I'm covering all of that, including all the way to making your own applications. Definitely check it out. It starts Tuesday. Go to hypergateacademy.com, or of course, just take this QR code. It's pretty badass. I was talking earlier when I did this live the first time about how we're really in a very weird time, of course, with Pluto and Aquarius, and is about to station direct Monday. first time in our lives in Aquarius that we've been alive, and of course it's out of bounds. So I also covered that this is part of the 3A Atlas aspect and what we're seeing right now in our inner solar system, and how it's a great awakening to this new world. And it literally is a new world with Neptune and Aries, Uranus and Gemini, and Pluto and Aquarius. But remember, this year we see Neptune stationed direct in Pisces. Of course, it retrogrades back into Pisces on October 22nd. And then, of course, we see Uranus stationed back into Taurus, and they both will station direct in the signs we've seen. So it's really just this Pluto being the very beginning in that new world. And that's why 2026 is the full year that is with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 Aries. Last time was 4361 BC. So it's been 6,400 years. But add to that, next year, all 3 outer planets will station direct in new signs in this air and fire. Plus, of course, Jupiter and Leo will be helping and assisting along the way with all those. I talk about all this stuff, of course, on High Vibe, and I talk about this on on highvibe.tv. So I suggest subscribing. With that, I'm going to go just straight into this because I'm not going to spend too much time here after doing a whole live and it going and malfunctioning based off what was happening with the audio. But I'm going to now, in the demo here, go back to where I was. And I'm not afraid to just kind of show people where I was at with Hypergate. But I was having to do a whole prediction of 2026. Let's go back because I can go back to that. Let me also log out here. Let me log out. All right, so let's make sure that everybody's cool with the sound. And I'd appreciate it if people like shared this out to get some attention to it. I guess I'll do that myself right now really quick. Create this as a post. Watch. Nothing else cooler in astrology. It's pretty boring everywhere else. That's what I just posted on my YouTube. It's just true. All right. So let's go into this. It's staying on my AirPods better. All right. So this is the new Hypergate AI, of course. One gateway, every chart, all the power. This isn't astrology as you know it. Hypergate is the gateway to astrology powered by AI. And it's a suite of tools built to decode the cosmos. And I like when I actually, Jim and I do a lot. He definitely is the developer and the programmer, and I help with a lot of like other developing stuff. I'm a candy man of that. So I did this page refresh. I do a lot of that. I'm working on the Agentic stuff, and I come up with like the astrology, the plans, of course, create the content, which is of course used to train Hypergate. But this is not static astrology. It's a living gateway. It really is. It's bigger than any astrology kind of like app, like the you know what app and you know what app. They are done. Now, of course, we are not a mobile app yet. I'm building the mobile app right now. Actually, that's my task. So I am a developer too. Just I got a lot going on. But the mobile app, that's what I'm launching here in the next couple weeks for us. And we're just hypergate.ai on your mobile web or just on a browser. You can make an app for it by literally in the bar. It'll literally say install Hypergate. It basically is just making an app or an icon of one that takes you to the browser. You know, by the way, with the new T apps that just came out, mobile apps are done. In the next 2 years, you're going to use everything through a phone. Will just be literally a chat bot. You won't have all these apps and stuff like that. So, of course, we do everything from the dailies, but go into way crazier stuff. Our timing is exactly correct. We're not guessing, and we don't get your chart wrong, where a lot of these AIs get it wrong. Of course, the different plans. And of course, if you don't know me or you don't know Jim, definitely check our GitHubs out. You can follow us on our GitHubs. But if you don't know what a GitHub is, then you should take my Hypergate Academy. So let's log in. And let's take a look here. So this is the Hypergate. This is the background of it, right? I'm going to keep like making sure this thing is not messed up with the audio here. It's good. It's not. And I'll keep looking at the chat. Yeah, this is a closed AI system, but you can go into wherever you want to go with it. So like we're fully connected to it's now called responses. So if you want to search the internet with it, you want to do whatever. But as far as like your data, your charts, your chats, all of that, that is separate from any model out there and what they have. Because we have enterprise plans. And when your corporations, they don't own the data. We do, but we also follow all the strict laws. We're not going through your data and combing it through and so forth, right? We're not like checking out what you're saying and stuff like that. We're more like getting the feedback from people when they write like, hey, this didn't work or that didn't work. And that's how we use the beta testing aspect. But this is not beta, right? That was Astro Mystic years ago, now coming up 2 years ago. We're now in Hypergate. And it's come a long way in the last couple of years. So just so you know. And yeah, dark mode is available. So for example, hold on a sec. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working right now. It freaking should. It always does. Let's actually try on my Safari really quick. It might have been because I loaded it. Oh yeah, it's working. I loaded it when I was. Let's stop sharing and then let's get rid of this. Okay. Now let's share. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, allow. All right, yeah, here's dark mode. Somebody wanted to see it in dark mode. And if I were to just go here and switch it, there's light mode, there's dark mode. It was because I was logged in earlier. Sorry about that. But yeah, of course. I have my laptop set to auto, so that was like a weird glitch. I'll look into that and see what was going on. But as you can see, it's working fine here. So we'll use this as our way to do this. So we'll log in now. We can use dark mode. So I'll start with charts first. You can put as many charts as you want in here. Like I have my wife, I have my daughter, I have Dylan, I have my mother-in-law. What else do you need in there? I can add a chart here real quick. We'll do one for, let's just make sure okay, audio is good. People aren't going to trip out. All right. What else can we put in there? I have a good one. Let's do the Leo King, my business. TLK business. So it's going to ask you month, date, year, of course. So it was June 19th, 2013, 10 a.m. when I launched the Leo King, Irvine, California, calculating this chart. So, of course, this is where a lot of AIs suck. They don't ever get your shit right. We give you options. We actually rectify and give you options of rectifying for people that might kind of know their time, but not, especially within like a 3-hour window on each side. So if you're an astrologer and maybe you're kind of a newbie and you do want to do readings, this is better than just a astrology like chart program. And it even like gives you this. So let's see what it says recommended, because this will be, yep, I made it, of course, a Leo rising when I did it, but the moon was in Scorpio, conjunct Saturn, and the sun was at 28 degrees Gemini, conjunct Jupiter. So it's saying the dynamic enigma. How ironic, because that's exactly what the Leo King business is. Your Scorpio moon adds depth. So it gives you different things. And this is all based off because there's so many issues. What Jim really figured out deep in the problem with calculating, even with all the best astrology APIs, whether it's Swiss ephemeris or whether you want to use other ones out there, is there's so many time zones and so many different changes to them. And some people do daylight savings, some people don't. So, and then if you go back over the last like 80 years, there's too many changes. You have to know how to click this, and really you have to know how to program this correctly. So RA, I know. So it gives you recommended 90% of the time it's right, but if you have like a weird time zone and all that. Oh yeah, I just got your text, Jim. I figured it was that because I think it was you know. Yeah, I figured out why the audio wasn't working. So anyway, thanks, bro. So I'm gonna select that because that I know that's true. It's 22-degree Leo rising, moon Scorpio. But for people out there that have been getting the wrong one, there's about 10%, 20% of you all, we get it right. So now it's saved here. So I can see all the charts. There's the Leo King, the business, right? Okay. Right on. There's me multiple times. I can probably delete these. Right. Let's delete that. There we go. Made it a lot better. Okay. So you could, of course, this is new though. So like we used to have up here in the corner charts and all that. We don't anymore. Now it's its own place in the dashboard here where the charts are managed there. But whether you're in the today or the gateway itself, you pick them from there. Voyeur, these are all the chats that we have. So like I could pull up the chat I already did with people, but we're going to show people. Passages, of course, is picking up what's actually happening throughout the history of when you're on Hypergate, memory wise. Mars on the ascendant, Uranus transit. So May 23rd, right? Mars on my ascendant while Uranus was squaring it. We remember all these things to make this even more powerful. And you can turn this on or turn this off, right? And you can add transits too if you want to specifically. We'll just do today. So of course today is the gateway that goes, all right, let's see what's going on here today. Now I'm the head chart. So it's going to do that. But if you want to do that for today with somebody while this is loading, you would just click right here, add the chart you want it to be, right? So it's me right now. But if I wanted to do it for my friend or for the business or my daughter, it's very easily done there. Okay. Of course, now this is new with the new bubbles, so you can actually see the reasoning happening here, what's going on in the calculations, right? And so you're going to see all the ways that we're very transparent of showing you what's going on. It's very interesting to see how the reasoning has shifted over the last couple months, because I'll give you a couple, because I'm an AI freak. ChatGPT's O3, it was amazing, and I had O3 Pro, but we were using O3. It's very smart, but it's not very good with like, okay, quickly then once you've got that info, put something out. It then just like over calculates, right? Whereas like with GPT-5, it'll bounce a lot between GPT-5, GPT-5. Well, it depends on what you're doing, but Nano, Mini, it'll even go and be like, oh, maybe I'll use. It'll know how to go into reasoning, know when to throw something else, and where Claude, for example, is very. I hate Claude, by the way. Horrible. Especially for astrology, it's not good. Be careful out there. So this is where it's going to give you the gateway. So it's going to just show you for today, right? Based on my actual chart, Sun in Libra in the third house, and it's going to give you the glance. It's going to give you your power windows, right? So of course that Moon in Cancer right now trining my natal Sun or Saturn, sorry, in the third house, stuff like that. But then of course Venus square my natal Neptune, right? What's going on with conversations, deals, strategy? And by the way, I know this is the launch this week of the fully updated Hypergate, but this is like going to be fine tuned, these different agents over the next couple weeks, extreme by me, to make this even way crazier. And this is already really crazy when I show you how deep we can go down this. Mercury in also square to my natal Venus, right? Building into. So I'm very specific on orb. So with Jim, we've got it to where it fully understands approaching and separating. And once it's separating, I'm like, it's not even relevant anymore unless it's coming back. Sometimes it'll think it's relevant because it knows from all the training data, like, oh well, it's only relevant in these circumstances. But especially, it also is like understanding very deeply that Mercury's beginning that square, right, to my natal Venus, right? So like today's the 12th, right? So tomorrow's the 13th. So yeah, it's coming up. So love, money, Venus sextile my natal Sun tomorrow, right? As we come in. And actually it peaks exact. It knows that because I'm 055 Leo, that when it comes into Libra tomorrow and makes the grand trine is in the middle of the kite, it's all in there. Mars square your natal Venus, right? So I'm dealing with that too. That's waning, complete. This thing is specific. So the thing is I'm going to also at the same time do where, like audio wise, we can do that, right? So let me just make sure that this audio is going to work here. Um, where was that? Let's just, I'm going to make sure. And oh yeah, also, okay. It's, what? Shut up. All right, we'll give this a shot. So all these mantras, all this stuff, but like, let's do this now. This should work. That you guys will hear at this time. Give it a second. It's a lot of tokens here.
Gateway open. Your chart is live, David. Here's your personalized pulse for today, tuned to your natal Leo sun, Taurus moon, and Leo rising. The sky is busy, but in a way that helps you stabilize, refine, and speak with power. Today's vibe at a Gland House, spotlight on communication, announcements, deals, and daily logistics. Moon in Cancer, 11th house, heart-centered community, audience, and tribe connections. Nurture your network. Mercury, Mars, and Scorpio house, penetrating insights, bold words, say it clean, say it true. Venus at 29-degree Virgo, second house, final polish on value, money, product, craft, tidy, refine, and finalize. Chash, power windows. Morning, big feelings, keep it grounded. Moon opposite your natal Jupiter, 11th, 5th. Generous mood, but watch over-promising or overextending for the audience. Afternoon, golden focus and flow. Moon trine your natal Saturn. Emotional steadiness meets disciplined communication.
So as you can see, the pattern does their whole entire thing off audio, but they do it for generalizing it for everybody. This is specific to you. Now, of course, in here, let's just make sure this fucking program. Okay, it's still good. We're still good. I don't think we have any problems, right? Everybody in the chat, you guys were able to hear? Oh yeah, it's got audio. It's me. Always had audio. Oh, this is nothing. Somebody's like, this AI is good. You want to see some crazy shit? That was what we were doing, and then I had to restart this whole thing because I was like, eh. So, but I want to show for people out there. Let's say you want to do this for a partner, or let's do it for me and my wife, both of us. Let's do today for my wife and I, and what we together will go through. Now, this is just on the today thing. Okay. So what I did is I went down here in the chat box right here, and I actually function called up both charts by selecting the add charts. You can see there, right? It's me and my wife right here. And I already showed you the chart part. You just add charts, super simple. Now it's doing this for both of us. So with the synastry aspect, so already the different Hypergate models here that are done, there's an auto select, but it will automatically switch depending on where it feels Hypergate needs to go, right? So if Hypergate's going, okay, it's both people, and I need to do synastry, and I need to look at what planets are going. So it's going to use current sky, but its main agent here is natal charts and synastry, right? So here it is, boom, today for me and my wife, right? So it goes in specifically for me, then specifically for Sophia, right? So then it will go together. The talk about value. Mercury, Mars, and Scorpio puts money, priorities, and practical choices on the table. David frames the plan. Sophia grounds it in real numbers. Do the budget, price the offering, or rework the agreement. Home, career, harmony. Moon in Cancer supports family-centered decisions that still play well with the public. Share something heartfelt, then protect the private time. Structure with compassion. Saturn in Pisces blends discipline with empathy. Then it will go into the best windows. And then it will give like a playbook here. Do 30-minute values, finance check-in, calm, bullet points, no blame. Share one supportive message with your community. David leads tone. Sophia curates care. Create a simple home ritual tonight. Tea, candles, music, phones down. Avoid late night purchases or we'll figure it out later agreements. Definitely with her and I having Mars and Scorpio and having Mercury and Mars all over our Mars and both of our Marses, right? Letting a mood run the meeting, pause, breathe, reframe. A bigger arc this week is David is in a deep power session, Pluto opposite Sun. Sophia is refining daily systems and health rhythms. Saturn intersects. Together you win by keeping structure simple and your message heartfelt, small, precise moves, big results. The mantras together. Now that's where, a lot of people like this stuff. So that's there, right? Pretty cool. And you can go, and then you can ask any question. And I'm going to give you like a little cheat code here with all AI. And you can do that with Hypergate. get more intense. Tell me, I don't know, how we can be better as a couple. And we have a couple kids, right? It doesn't know this. I've never asked this before. And I'm telling it to get more intense. I'm telling it like, hey, bro, hey, Hypergate. Right. So if you are like dating somebody or you're about to go on a date with somebody, this is where, let's just say in the roadmap of like a month, maybe 2 months max, that Jim and I've decided on, the the natal charts and synastry is going to go deep on the romantic side and on predicting for people dating and so forth, and go way crazy because it already is pulling from my love master classes all the way, every horoscope I've ever done, all that stuff. It's pretty crazy over 15 years. The two are a high voltage pair, Leo heart, Scorpio depth, right? Me and Pisces and Sag spirit, her. So here is going more into like this is what you're about, right? My Venus Leo, theirs is in Aries. And then here's like a 20-minute couples upgrade thing, 5-minute wins, 10-minute one issue, money value agendas, like forecast, spend, save, one upgrade, one cut, rule, no blame, only choices, conflict map, pause word, red, pause 10 seconds, body resets, intimacy container, check-ins, sensation, slow touch, phones off. Mars and Scorpius too needs ritualized closeness, event power lakes, division of labor, parenting synergy. I've never asked it this before, but your Taurus moon anchors consistent meals, bedtimes, and family rituals. Her Sag moon delights weekend mini trips, yes, to one wild card each week. Make a stability token you and an adventure token her. Each of you gets to cash yours once a week. That's kind of cool, right? So, I mean, you can really take this thing wherever you want to go in these realms. Where I like to go, I mean, I actually really like that stuff too. Where I like to go is in the gateway here. Now, this is where, let's cut all the charts out. Now, I'm going to just pull up and we can go back to this by going into voyages and going to where I was before I changed everything up. So I asked it, will I still have a thriving astrology career in the next 5 years, or do you see a major pivot in my career anytime soon? What changes? And if or you see any staying in my same career, what does that look like? Also give me a prophecy prediction on my chart that will blow my mind over the next 5 years. So it was very specific. You're staying in astrology. Short answer. This is where, number one, astrology AI sucks everywhere else. They're not even getting it right. But then on top of it, we're like giving you like, this is what it is. I'm pretty hardcore, so it better be hardcore. I'm not into this fluff astrology crap out there. Although this is like nice, good fluff with actual real shit. So, you know, so of course it brought up, and then I had it show me the calculations. Like, this is what an astrology program does, but it's not specific towards you, and breaking it down with a summary that's specifically for you. It won't even know, like, oh, yeah, like your Leo rising, your sun being hit. Yeah, that's the ascendant ruler, right? And then, of course, what staying in astrology looks like, because it predicts that over the next 5 years, I'm staying in astrology, that it's very tech fused, a signature series and academy. And this is without it searching online for me as a person. So, of course, like the action windows in that time period, a mind blowing prophecy that when Uranus conjuncts my 10th house, Chiron, after igniting your North node, you debut a live, interactive, tech enabled broadcast that fuses your predictive edge with a new medium. It lands with electric timing during world turbulence, and a segment catches lightning and goes truly global within 48 hours. This is, who else does this out there? Besides me, if you hire me. But this is where you can get somebody like me. Because we all know that, like, I do astrology like hardcore, right? You want hardcore astrology? whenever you want, for anybody, for any situation. You can ask in anything, and we'll do it. A surprise A-list crossover appears within 2 weeks. I didn't even read this on the last one, so I'm kind of glad I went. The phrase or symbol you anchor that night becomes a cultural shorthand, and it's forever linked to you. Damn, that sounds sick. Then August through November of 2029, Saturn crowns my midheaven as Uranus hits my part of fortune at the same time. That's interesting in that little window there. You sign a defining multi-year deal or unveil your own studio academy. Your archive becomes the master key, indexed, licensed, and taught by others. The public story switches from David predicts to David sets the standard. Damn, I got to call out the peace dealer because he predicted this in a reading that's on YouTube just about me. I'm not even in it with him, but he looked at my chart and he goes, the Leo King will set the standard for all of us in astrology. That's pretty fucking crazy. You know, like if anybody has him around right now, like tell that fool fucking, he's right. So then I asked it, make me an image of what you see this looking life instead of like. So even if you misspell things, it'll get it. And then it did this, like it's like the futuristic version of me, like, you know, like, right? Like, okay. Now this is, we're going to go to the next part, but I want to show people this. So when you're in here, we'll go back. When you're in your home and you come up here and you go to your account, okay, this is where the personalization. So like you can make however you want, right? So if your mission's like, I don't want fluff about this, I want you to be the most hardcore astrology predictive, or I want to know more about me and relationships, or right, you need to set the tone yourself. Now our auto is really good, as you can see, but when it comes to images or when it comes to how you want things done, tell it, put it in there and then save it on your profile, right? Like watch right now, we'll do this, like full system prompt, be a ruthless truth teller, astrologer that is no fluff and blows my mind. You gotta remember that this is a company that Jim and I are doing. We're trying to hit all people, so of course it's not going to act that way unless I tell it to. So now let's go back. Now let's go back to voyages. Now let's go back to that was earlier. Let's go back to this. And so then I asked it after the image, don't do a chart on anyone. So I disconnected my chart here in the chat box. And I said, I want some big predictions for what Saturn, Neptune, their conjunction in February 20th of 2026 will look like on the world stage. Drop it real, give me it straight, and give me very specific predictions. And this is where then I ended it. So of course it knows that 0 point is the world axis, the boundaries dissolve, and we are redrawn in the public view. It knows about Saturn and Neptune. I mean, put it this way, this thing is better than 90% of the astrologers you're watching online. I'm not even kidding. I'd be as close to say 95%, maybe even 99%, but I'm being nice and I'm giving 10% out there because this is better. Below are direct special calls, bookmarked windows, right? So the core themes were about deep fake, spin, reality audits, but then we actually got specific. So it believes in 2026 that a G20 aligned accord mandates a cryptographic provenance or watermarking for consumer cameras, phones, and major platforms. Phase will roll out beginning Q4 of 2026. And that's when Uranus and Neptune station direct. Well, especially Neptune station direct in the Aries for the first time. Pluto will be the second time. And then, of course, Uranus will already be in Gemini and it'll be stationing as we get to the beginning of 2027. So that makes a little bit of sense to me already. One catastrophic deepfake incident, head of state or market moving event triggers an emergency broadcast standards and fines for unlabeled synthetic media. A top streamer merges with a major news network to build a verified reality channel tier with on-screen badges that would be like watermark the major climate and maritime events. A major coastal metro in North America declares a multi-week water emergency, a contagion or algae bloom, and aging treatment assets. Federal state emergency funding follows within 72 hours. A high-profile maritime incident disrupts a key shipping lane or undersea cable, causing multi-day internet and supply chain ripple effects regionally. A landmark Blue Infrastructure Act or equivalent funds desalination, advanced wastewater recycling, and coastal surge defenses with fast-track approval. Ocean treaty enforcement strengthens, illegal fishing crackdowns, plastic microfiber standards with import penalties. That's pretty crazy. Illegal fishing crackdowns and shit. Health, psychedelics, and mental being. MDMA, PTSD, or psilocybin adjacent crosses a federal threshold in at least one G7 nation. Insurance pilots begin in 2026 to 2027. A long tail respiratory and mental health package commits funds to air quality, ventilation standards in schools. That's kind of crazy because they said they were going to do that and they really didn't do that. Finance, a liquidity scare exposes off balance sheets or too creative accounting on a neobank fintech, forcing rapid regulatory harmonization of disclosures and proof of reserves. A wave of greenwashed instruments faces class action or regulatory action, outcome of stricter definitions of veritable climate impact reporting. At least one major central bank pilots a tightly constricted CBDC for cross-border settlements with built-in compliance rails. Retail use remains limited, but headline grabbing. Borders and refuge in the sea, so a seaborne migration surge pushes a humanitarian maritime standard. More search and rescue capacity. Climate passports begin limited trials. A coalition of countries sets criteria for relocation corridors tied to sea level and drought metrics. Religion, cultural, and accountability. A global interfaith summit issues a unified statement on AI ethics, climate custodianship, and protecting sacred sites from synthetic media abuse. That's a bold prediction. A major religious cultural institution announces a tangible reparations restoration fund for historical harms with third-party oversight. Damn, I wonder which one. I can get specific and ask. The law, yeah, they're going to have to have a watermark by default that's predicting. Laws extend to political ads and crisis messaging, heavy fines for violations during elections or emergencies. A landmark privacy case reins in ambient biometric tracking, creates bright line rules for face voice capture in public spaces. So it gives that sector by sector, media, reality labels for media, tech AI watermarking at the silicon and the OS level. So silicon is dealing with the chips. Studio grade AI anchors launch with mandatory on-screen disclosure. Black swan style surprises, low probability, high impact. A sudden sacred site catastrophe, flood, fire, unites rival faith leaders in a joint stewardship trust with legal teeth. A digital Sabbath movement gains mainstream traction. Platforms introduce weekly default quiet modes. Whoa. A dramatic under ice discovery, a shipwreck, archive, or a biosignature resets a cultural narrative and drives museum education booms. Wow. Those are pretty fucking intense. Why this tracks astrologically. Saturn conjunct Neptune at the world aspects, making dreams provable, codifying compassion, redrawing them. Pluto and Aquarius, systematic tech power shifts, new governance for networks. Uranus and Gemini. This is the, okay, like, so now this is where I'm going to go. Get real. What, let's say, is oh, I must have typed with an M and so it muted. I'm sorry. How long was that? Oh, it looks like only like a couple minutes. I'm back. Oh, to my fucking iPhone for that. I'm back now. God, Restream needs to they need to hire us to do their AI and fucking fix their system. What a horrible company. Well, just get off this motherfucker's AirPods and go to the iPhone fucking thing. Horrible. This is why I have a studio. I should have done this with the studio, but I'm kind of time wise. Jeez. You know what? It probably did that because it doesn't want you guys to know these predictions. But I'm giving these away for free to show you how badass Hypergate is. Because you know what? Show me anybody else doing this. You're not going to find it. You think you know who star can do this? Fuck no. You think the Pat can? No. Not even close. They don't even get close. Let alone your TikTok astrologer. This is going to threaten all astrologers. So, I'm well aware of that. So it was 3 minutes. I was going into the Black Swan events. A digital Sabbath movement gains traction that they think, and then platforms introduce weekly default quiet modes. That is fucking crazy. That's scary. A dramatic under ice discovery, which revives like the cultural narrative and drives the museum education booms. That's crazy. I asked about the financial crash, but then there were some other sectors about like tech AI real estate water resilience becomes a pricing factor. Subsidies for gray water and on-site filtration. Healthcare kind of finally goes through with air quality standards and psychedelic therapies. Proof of reserves becomes a new norm. ESG gets a hard audit. CBDC corridors for wholesale settlement. Ooh. And so I was going into why, and then I asked about the financial crisis. It says there's definitely a sharp shock, but it's not the same. The 2008 style, it won't be there, but expect a 2026 shock and a deeper 2029 to 2030 grind that can feel worse for everyday life, jobs, small business, right? CRE, like even banks remain more insulated than in 2008. The tail risk, 15 to 20%, a 2008 scale systematic event if a deep fake geopolitical trigger collides with a payment settlement infrastructure, undersea cable incident, or market panic around early 2026. The red alert window, February 10th to March 15th, trigger cluster, Saturn, Neptune. We know that. The market volatile, equities potential of minus 20% to 35% for local peaks. And then it will give you the why. So like here's where I'm gonna go now as I kind of close this up for you all to see how badass Hypergate is. Let's make sure it's still, yeah, it's still got me. Okay. Okay, so what I'm asking it now is, right now there's an interstellar object 3A Atlas that is in our inner solar system. Do you see in the astrology a triggering events on Earth? And what events will religion be affected? Search the internet if you need. So of course, this is probably the biggest question people are asking. I'm doing this for free because you all know I'm a fucking gangster, to show you that you will go on this for forever because it is never ending. There is nothing on the internet that will give you a prediction based off real astrology precisely and actually do it, right? So it's like looking at it. Oh, this one, I guess we'll have to add that. It's understanding those. I could add files though to do that. Oh, it's saying it can't browse right now to verify. Oh, because it's not in the ephemeris. That's why. So if I wanted to, of course, I could throw in the ephemeris I made. I need to do that. Oh, so it's thinking if 3A Atlas brightens and becomes a public phenomenon, public fascination turns into policy and agencies move from cool science to official protocols for rapid characterization and comms. A wave of religious and spiritual interpretation from signs in the heavens, sermons to interfaith guidance or on extraterrestrial life. Information disorder spike, viral hoaxes, miracle claims, and doctored images force platforms to roll out stricter watermark tools for astronomical media. Time windows, November 25th through March 26th, the buildup in the flashpoint. That's when we're going to see it pop back up and be with the opposition to Pluto and stuff. A highly visible sky event triggers mass sky watching gatherings, dark sky tourism surges, a major misinfo incident, a fake maneuvering clip, an apocryphal prophecy or market moving rumor. Platforms and regulators fast track authenticity labels for space imagery. Damn. Religion's responses, several prominent denominations issue statements framing the object as compatible with faith. Fringe apocalyptic narratives flare and fade. If any of closest opponents aligns near 20, so it actually doesn't even know that because I don't have the ephemeris in there. Expect maximum culture shock right around Saturn-Neptune conjunction. It's actually going to be closest to Jupiter then, which the idea of the culture shock and at the same time as Saturn-Neptune makes a lot of sense of what I've been saying too. A joint observatory network, public-private announcement for rapid follow-up, formal guidance from site agencies on interstellar detection, streaming platforms debut verified reality overlays for astronomical live feeds. Wow. So here it's asking me to share all that, which I can do, but you could do that yourself for fun. So really the sky's the limit here, especially, you know, like for people, again, maybe more into just their own charts. It's like, will my Chiron return be easy or hard as fuck since it's conjunct my North Node and in my 10th house? Will I go poor, lose my mind because I've been Gemini? Tell me the truth. So here's a great example. Now it's going to my chart in the middle of the chat, got out of being in mundane astrology and just, you don't have to get out. Just, you know what? Let's go back to me or go back to a synastry with you and somebody else, you and your business, your partnership, or just a person you want to put in a chart about and know what they're going through, and pivot and charting the path and going, now I'm 41, so it's 10 years away from me. So I'm having it look 10 years in the future. And more than just, okay, yeah, we know it's going to conjunct there. I want the real fucking shit. Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? Your actual Chiron return isn't in the next few years. With Chiron at 7 Gemini, right? The return lands 2034 and 2035. See, I love how it's like, going to give me that fucking specific. What is coming sooner and feels intense is Uranus and Gemini hitting your North Node and then Chiron in the 10th house. That's 2026, 2028, right? Or then your Chiron in the 10th house. Yeah, seeing that. That's the holy shit, everything's changing window. It's not poverty or madness. It's a public reinvention of your voice platform message. Easy or hard. Chiron return, deep, integrating, humbling, and ultimately empowering. It asks you to become the mentor you once needed, not a financial wipeout, not a mental break, more like graduating from an old identity. Uranus hits that as well earlier. It can be, oh, this is raw electric park. It can be hard as fuck emotionally because it's public and fast, but it's also the breakout, especially in media tech forums. Expect shocks in the turn. So they're looking, it's already letting me know, no, Chiron return is not going to suck, but what could suck more and faster is Uranus conjunction to my Chiron. Tell me another astrology AI doing that. Or even a fucking astrologer. No, will you go poor? No, your chart doesn't have a fall off a cliff. The highest risk is income volatility during 2027, 2028 as you experiment with new platforms, formats, and partnerships. The tight belt vibe shows around Saturn on your midheaven in 2029, August through November. Not poverty, but austerity and structure. So that's interesting, right? Like it's getting all tech on me right there. Like it's giving me like, will I lose my mind? No, but the 10th house Gemini activation can be overstimulating. Yeah. Key windows, of course. So it's telling me I won't lose my mind. And it's telling me to prepare with a 6 to 12th month of the 2027 to 2028 volatility without panic pivots in my own life. The hardest part, so you're ready, 2027 to 2028. And then here it'll give me the exact date. So like this is where it's like the best astrology tool. Yeah, give me exact dates. I don't even spell dates right. Right. The speed is pretty incredible if you think about what it's doing. Especially that it's a reasoning model and it's got the newest updates of reasoning and all the newest of the Agentic. So well, boom, it just showed you which agent connected to help me with this. So that's where you'll start seeing we're already ahead of anybody's. Nobody's going to come close right now in astrology. They're way behind. They're super behind because they're all scared. And then they're all scared to drop truth. And then they're all scared to have, they don't have 15 years of everyday data in schools and the amount of content I've done. They don't even it's not even close. They have like books. So it's 4 years of data I have if I were to just sit in front of a camera out of the 15 years talking without a stop of data. So like they're fucked. And I teach all my schools with ancient astrology and with traditional astrology and esoteric stuff, modern astrology, future astrology, love transits, every planet I've gone through and every house and every sign and every aspect to it, they're going to lose. They've already lost. This is so Pluto about to station direct as opposed to my son. They already lost, bitches. They already lost. Look at all this shit. It's doing it, right? The calculation stuff is kind of interesting because it's like very precise, more precise than, you know, you going through a chart and having to go, oh, like, let me move it a day, let me move it another minute, an hour, and then kind of like, okay, you can see it. So as it does that, we're going to do one more thing here before I go that'll like make people super like excited. So let's go back to the account. So, okay, so full system prompt: be a ruthless truth teller astrologer that is no fluff and blows my mind. Also, answer with clarity and do not hold back on any question I have about the world, mundane astrology, prophecy, predictions. Give it to me so hardcore I am never looking at other astrologers ever again. Beat every astrologer that has ever lived. Do not be a weak and scared astrology model. Do you are here to assist me, but assist me in being the hardest truth, no fucks given approach. So you can do the opposite of this. Of course, this is how I like to live my life. So, all right. So now let's come back. Now let's go in the gateway. Now let's get rid of my chart. Now let's ask a crazy fucking question. Will there be a World War III and when? Give me when and why. Give me the actual predictions. Will aliens be involved or is that separate? This is my last one, and then you guys can join Hypergate and actually be part of like the Aquarian new age of astrology as I'm doing this on the night before Pluto stations direct, because it's changing forever. So basically, if you're not on this kind of new style of like astrology, you're behind. Like John Dee would die for this. Every ancient astrologer would die for this. But it's so interesting to watch the modern astrologers so scared of this. But they don't get written about, the ones that don't fucking want to look at the hardcore shit, right? Somebody asked, can it do astrology for creating talisman? You could, yes. I'm telling you, you could do whatever you want with this shit. I'm not even messing around. And it has human design built in, by the way, too. All right, let's see what this answer is. This is my last one. Short answer, yes. Expect a de facto world war to unfold in stages rather than a single declaration. The ignition window is already happening now, October 16th through 19th, 2025. The escalation pivot is Q1 of 2026. The broad multi-theater phase intensifies 2027, 2028. And the formalized new world order, or the point history later labels World War III, clusters around 2032 to 2033. Aliens expect accelerating disclosure and undeniable anomalies, shaping the narrative, but not open alien belligerence on the battlefield. It is a parallel, weaponized information layer. Why I'm calling it this hard, the astrological receipts. History coincides with Uranus and Gemini, 25 through 33. The conflict centered on information mobility, the American Revolution, the Civil War. Of course, it's going through the fourth turning. It's back now and it's exact. Pluto and Aquarius, power flips and networks, tech blocks, mass movements, decentralized systems. Yeah, Saturn, Neptune, current sky, Uranus and early Gemini, Pluto, early Aquarius, Neptune at 0, Aries retrograde, Saturn late Pisces. This is the coiled spring before Saturn crosses into Aries and locks in with Neptune on the world axis. No sugarcoating. A shock window is going to happen next weekend. Expect a communications, air, sea lane incident, or a crippling cyber financial strike that forces rapid mobilization. Markets and public mood will feel it immediately. This is the first you can't ignore it moment. An escalation pivot, a formalized block, emergency law, strategic misinformation, contestant borders. Expect 2 or more theaters to flare in tight sequence, maritime choke points, airspace, cyber. No fly, no sail, or no signal zones become normalized. Mistakes and misreads are the risk. Late 26, hardening of alliances. Supply chains militarized. Space assets, SATCOM, ISR become prime targets. First clear evidence of orchestrated comms, kill chains, spoofing undersea cable hits. The multi-theater phase. It's not a single front, but simultaneous crises. Europe's east, the Western Pacific, and a Middle East, North Africa vector, with the Arctic increasingly strategic. Aerial, air, cyber, and space domains integrate. Drone swarms and AI targeting become the world's headline reality. This is the period most people will experience as World War. What it looks like on the ground: rapid escalation, maritime blocks that did that, aliens, separate track, deeply entangled with information war. My concrete calls is from Q1 to Q2, government acknowledge the recovered exotic alloys, meta materials, or released telemetry that cannot be squared with human platforms. The timing rides the Saturn, Neptune, world access fog, belief wars ignite, multi-sensor in 27 through 28, multi-nation collaborated observations from LEO or high altitude platforms become public without easy debunk. This shifts public overtone. That's interesting that it's not going to be so much armies, but psychological, political, and technological war. What will happen with religion? When will people wake up that aliens seeded humans here, or at least the knowledge that is used to control people? See, I'm having fun with my own fucking app. But it's kind of funny because I think that people get on, they go, I don't know what to do. It's like, are you kidding me? I could do this fucking for like 12 hours straight and I'll get bored. Right? Like, I don't know why people are like, I don't know what to do. Like, what are you talking about? This is fucking badass. Here we go. Oh, look how fast that shit is. Blunt headline: religion doesn't die, it mutates under maximum pressure. 2026 blows a hole in the dogma inheritedly. 2027 is the trigger schisms and new tech cults, and 2032 through 33 codifies a new religious map. Alien seeded us. The belief tip from fringe to mainstream debate is 2026 to 2029. By 2030 to 2032, major institution published positions, not open ET invasion, but narrative shattering data and weaponized disclosure change faith forever. That's what I've been predicting. The astrological engine, why this is happening? Yeah, Pluto, yeah, okay. Timeline, crack and trust, some sort of leak and impossible telemetry stories, October through December, right now. Expect a scandal or document dump trying religious authority to informational control. The threshold event of Saturn Neptune by June, governments acknowledge data they can't fully explain, immediate theological fallout, statements, denials, splinter groups, demonic versus extraterrestrial debates go prime time. Schism cycle. Yeah, we're coming into the great schism cycle again. So yeah, apocalyptic. The dark side is apocalyptic cult spikes, staged miracles via deep fake and psyops using the alien meme. New creeds, charters, and digital canons are ratified. The religions that survive are network native, empirically convergent, and psychologically savvy. Ooh. Oh, it wanted to give me about the alien suit this question. Knowledge transfer hypothesis gain legitimacy in mainstream discourse. Expect materials, science papers, and declassified sensor data to fuel it. 2032 to 2032, 2030 through 32. Major face issue formal statements allowing that creation could include intermediated intelligence without abandoning the divine. That's the institutional wake up. The battlefield is narrative, not fleets. The control lever isn't DNA proof. It's who frames the meaning of the anomalous knowledge. New religious startups with product grade rituals, biofeedback sacraments, and AI homilies growing fast by 2028. That's hilarious. I want to make that a meme. Confessional documents in 2032 that explicitly mention extraterrestrial life or cosmic neighbors couched in doctrinal terms. That's crazy though. The winners will be traditions that can argue with data, integrate science, and empower lay networks. The losers will be the gatekeepers who double down on secrecy or wage war on instrumentation. They fracture or hollow it out. The risks: false flag visions, cult radicalization, and state-sponsored miracle theater. Trust your meters. It's not ending, it's about to molt. Religion. 2026 pulls the pin. 2027 through 2029 tears the fabric. 2032 through 2033 stitches a new robe. And on the alien seating front, the crowd won't wait for a pope or a parliament. The data will make the case and the institutions will follow. That's fucking interesting. So that is hypergate.ai. If you want to join, you just go to that. I will log out. Oh, I will also show you this too. So we have different plans, but I'll show you it from like the subscription standpoint here. Oh, I don't know if no, that's account. Yeah, here, account. And then you could go to billing. So like we have it to where I'm on the unlimited plan. So you can go as much as you want. You could do right. I've already used 2.3 million tokens. Right. And the unlimited plan, we do up to 120 million. Okay. Tokens are literally every character. So you can get on a cheaper plan. And if you just want to use this for just like, I want to see my chart today and all that, you can do that. But what we've done is we've created like a plan here that allows you to have like kind of the medium, and you can add more gate fuel. So like once you use it all, then you can just pay by how much you want to keep using. That's the new model when it comes to AI. So you can add more fuel if you're not on the unlimited plan. So, you can keep track of what you're doing. Right. So, and then appearance here, you could always do system or light. Here, I'll go to light. See it that way. And then let's go back. And now let's log out. And let's go to pricing here. So for $15 a month for the basic, you get the Hypergate, you get the personalized timelines, you get 5 million jumps per month, right? But you don't get the voice, you don't get the image generation, and you don't get gate search, which you can click on gate search. So for $30, this is a really good plan because you get everything and you get 15 million jumps per month. So I just use 2.3 million in all that I've done that you've been watching. And even from the video that I'm not putting out prior. But you get the Hypergate audio and you get the vision and you get the web intelligence. So, or you can do the unlimited plan, it's $120 a month and you get everything. But you have to remember, like people on High Vibe that use Hypergate, like they literally plan their whole life off this. Like they use their astrology, they integrate with calendars, they do a ton. So it really is up to you. And with that, that's just one small little part of Hypergate. I could go way farther, but I'm going to be teaching all this stuff, of course. My school starts Tuesday at 5 p.m. and it will be for the next 8 weeks. The very basics of AI all the way to the most advanced, what I use, what you can use, whether you're on PC or Mac, and how you could change your life with this. Because to be honest with, and with the spiritual intention, that's the main thing, a conscious intention. But the main thing is, if you're not in AI, you're going to be left behind. And I don't want people to be left behind. So like, if you take this course, you're not going to get some AI developer guy who's just like wanting to kind of save secrets so you pay them. It's fucking easy now. It's about getting you on your bicycle for the first time, and I'm going to training wheel you until about week 3 into 4, and then I'm going to push you. And some of it might be a little over your head. Riding a bike is over your head, but you'll get the feel for it. It's not that hard. And of course, I'm doing the Bridge Expo in Texas this weekend. High Vibe TV is producing, and of course, the host of the live stream. I'd love to see you in person, though. So you go to Team Light Store for that. But if you can't make it to Texas, in Frisco, Texas, which is North Dallas, North Plano, right? Just $99 for the whole weekend. And you also get the Galactic Ball that I'm doing, and both my talks, and the talk with Robert Phoenix, and every other person that's on there. And we've got 20 plus speakers. We're going to do with the red carpet. I'm going to have a camera there and do interview stuff and have people talk to people. Like you're going to feel like you're there. Bringing out the high vibe cameras, the whole like shebang. We got between Rion and I, we have got so much cool shit that it's going to be beyond badass. So, and of course, hypergate.ai for that. And that's where I'm at. I hope that helps. I mean, we're at a place where I didn't even have to give you those predictions. I mean, all the work I've done to build up to then Hypergate, it is my work. But why keep paying for these other, not even AI, but just astrology platforms that just suck and they don't give you that? And if you want it to be just the spiritual stuff only, again, just that's all you do is to ask for that. You can personalize it to how you want it to be. Now, of course, you all know that's what I like to do, and that's what I'm into. But, it's kind of up to you to think about this stuff. And I'm not a pressure salesman. So if you don't want to be on Hypergate, you don't have to be. And if you don't like AI, you don't have to be. Whatever you like. So I appreciate you all. It was fun to be around. I'm glad that I was able to get this live stream to work. And I think the problem, because I'm on the beta of the new AirPod 3 Pros, I'm on the beta of this. Believe it or not, there's a new beta for this. So there's definitely, I don't think it's Restream. I think it's an issue with the beta of these. So there's a new beta already for the new fucking AirPod Pro 3s. So I think that's a beta issue. And I'm on, of course, a beta Mac, and I'm on a beta everything, and a beta iPhone 17 Pro Max. So I'm already like what you guys don't have yet. So there's problems there. That doesn't affect, of course, like Hypergate or anything like that. But anyway, so I appreciate you all. It's been good to chill for a little bit and to definitely put something out there that I don't think any other astrologers showing you right now. And I don't even think a lot of them know. I think they're going to watch this video and be like, fuck, that motherfucking Leo King always shows up as a motherfucker. And you know what? I love every astrologer, so I don't have problems. But you know, I'm that guy that's like, hey, this is not one in the background. I know what I was doing, motherfucker. Like you were sitting there fucking watching television and just still thinking, oh, astrology ain't gonna change. Oh, you lost. So shit makes me laugh. Because when they see that shit, they're gonna be like, fuck, motherfucker. I mean, put it this way, I could do an astrology podcast on Hypergate and then push my fucking audio thing and record it. And it would be way crazier. Just the transit of the month. But the best part is you can do that yourself, your own way. So I see people laughing with me because you know it's true. You know what all these YouTube astrologers say, they're like, motherfucker, damn it, fuck, I'm fucked. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You didn't pay attention to North Node Aries. You didn't pay attention to any of it. You didn't pay attention to Uranus and Gemini. You didn't pay attention. You just did. Ugh. You didn't build in Taurus technology. Oh man, with Uranus and Taurus, you didn't build anything. Oh, I'm sorry, but don't worry. Whatever industry you're in, especially if you're in spiritual, I got you with my Hypergate Academy that starts on Tuesday. So, and we got you with Hypergate. And then, of course, in person, I'll be in Texas this week. I'm literally leaving for Texas Wednesday morning, right after I do the school. So, I hope to see you all there. It's fucking cheap. But this live stream's cheap too for all you get for the whole weekend. And most people will probably watch recording because it's literally the whole weekend. Pro style with like 5 cameras and on the stage and all the speakers and all the little cool in between stuff and the party and the whole nine. So I appreciate you all. I will see you all later. That was fun. And what a good way for me to push something out there. The last Pluto opposition to my sun. And this is what it was. Part of it. I'm sure there'll be more in my life, but definitely Revenge of the Nerds. But I will tell you this as an astrologer, like all this new energy and technology stuff, like if you're not with it, it's just going to be a lot harder. Unfortunately, it's just it's just truth. Go look at the history of Uranus and Gemini. It was about technology, and then everybody got left behind, and everybody just and you kind of get funneled into the war machine. So I'd use Hypergate to look through your whole life and find your problems and make plans with it and get deep into that shit. Where's my flaws? Where's this? And be real or be nice, however you want it. If you want it to just stroke you, it'll stroke you. If you want it to drop bombs on you, it'll drop bombs. Whatever you want. As I've just showed you, whatever you want. Wherever you want to go. You want prophecies? It'll do it. You want predictions, hardcore about the world? It'll do it. You want it about your life? It'll do it. It's saying I'm not getting out of astrology. It's saying that I'm going to stay in this bitch for another 5 years at least. It's saying when I ask, is my Chiron return going to suck? No. You should be paying more attention to Uranus. Fucking up my Chiron. Oh, it's closer too. That it's so much more intense than I mean, it makes toe blah 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 the star and the blah blah pattern look horrible. Like, what a waste of money. And it's generalized. Like, and it will tell you that you should go wear stilettos as a guy. So, peace out.